Hello YouTube, I wanted to do this video because I haven't been putting out too many trading videos over the last few months, and that's mainly down to the fact that as we went into lockdown, my main trading PC, my trading station, went out of commission. It packed up basically. There were some problems with the hardware and the cooling, so that's been sent off for repair. Because of the time that we're in, the logistics of getting that repair done swiftly has been quite challenging. Plus I decided to have a load of upgrades done on some graphics cards and things like that, but it's very close to being repaired and complete and sent back to me. In the meantime, I've been running off of a backup laptop with a couple of monitors, and it's been a little bit tricky to produce decent videos. So what I'm planning on doing is when I get that PC back, I'm going to be producing a lot more trading videos for you guys, those of you who are interested in the trading side of things. But what I want to do is this video, because this morning I was doing some analysis on some really nice opportunities, and I wanted to record and share with you because I wanted to reinforce the importance of patience. At the moment, if you're watching this isn't going to be a hindsight video or anything like that. I've just done some raw analysis on the pairs that all have some really decent opportunities, but are going to require some patience, and patience pays the bills in trading. And I wanted to share that with you because I want to take you through the analysis. I'm not going to show you, I'm not going to follow it up with entries or anything like that. I want it to be pure, raw, live, so you can check it out. You can now go and follow along with those markets to see what actually happens. And it hopefully provide value to you. You can see how patience pays, how we wait for the setups to be met before we enter them. So as I say, I'm going to be sharing with you the analysis that I just did on the markets. If you're wondering why I'm breathing heavy or you can hear a whirring noise in the background, it's because I'm on a treadmill, a stand-up treadmill on my desk. So the heavy breathing is because I'm walking at just over 5 kilometers an hour, nothing else. So yeah, sit back, take a look at the analysis, and enjoy. Yeah, there's quite a bit of opportunity here. So let's get stuck in. So the next level we were looking at here was up at 96.10s. Now, looking left, if we just go out and look at how respected that level of structure is, looking left, you can see that we've got 1, 2, 3, right? Then 4 levels of support before we then turn that into, before we broke and closed below that, we pushed up into that zone, it became resistance here. We saw more resistance here in this little head and shoulders that formed, and then we had previous resistance here, and we're back up at that level. So the most recent level of structure resistance was the most recent high, looking left, and that is where we saw this bullish candle hit a loss of momentum yesterday, right? So we had this big breakout candle yesterday. This is the daily time frame. Strong bullish momentum. We close right at that level, okay? 95.90, or just below that 9600 level. So today we're continuing that bullish momentum, but what would be interesting to see here is how price reacts. As long as we don't break and close above this high, okay, so if we don't break and close above this high looking left, and we close below it, it doesn't matter if we spike above it, if we close below it and we don't close above it, that will give us an indication that we're likely to see a bit of a sell-off. Okay, very high probability structure-based short. Now, because it's a structure-based short, if you're just looking to trade initially and get in and out in the highest probable move and take profits in the highest probable move, you're not going to look for a full-blown reversal. You're going to want to get in as soon as possible. And then maybe you decide to trade the reversal after that. You might have a way of looking for a double top or a 2618 or a head and shoulders or something like that, where you can look to roll this thing down. But for now, all I'm looking at is a short, right? I just want a short, and I want to get in and out, and I want to identify the highest probable zones where I'm not likely to get stopped out, and I'm likely to hit targets very quickly. Okay, as a trader, I want to be in and out as quickly as possible. But even if that's a swing trading time frame, I don't want to be hanging in trades forever. We don't want to miss more opportunities. We want to be in and out. So what I'm looking at here is on the identify phase, I've identified that we're at structure. So I definitely don't want to buy this up. If we break and close above this high, then there could be an opportunity to buy this up. But what I'm looking at is a potential quick-term, short-term short, short-term sell. A little structure-based, high probability move to the downside, and I want to get in and out of that move as quickly as possible with a higher probability of being right. So the first thing I need to do is identify that I want to short, okay? The second thing I need to do is just keep an eye on what level that we don't want to see a break and close above. So look, if I just move this, if I move this horizontal line, and we see this candle here, the close, the high of this candle is 96.18. All right, 96.18. So when we drop down to our trading time frame, what we're looking at is, as long as the market doesn't close above 96.18, we're good to go. Now, we've only just seen a loss of momentum. See this? One big, strong, bullish momentum candle. 1, 2, 3, 4. We only saw the loss of momentum here, or deceleration, or exhaustion, whatever you want to call it. We're having one final push after that. This is the decision point. Typically what we see here is another break and close above if we're going to, or if not, we see a big pullback and we see what? A high test candle, right? A hammer, or inverted hammer, or whatever you want to call them. Or people call them shooting stars and all different names. But this is essentially, if this can close down here, ideally in the lower third of this candle, so we get the open and the close in the lower third, that will give us a high probability opportunity for a short. Now some people, some of you guys can be as aggressive as to enter on that candle, next bar market. You wait for the candle to close, you short next bar market as long as that candle's met your rules. If you're not that aggressive, what you can do is wait for a little double top here. Now for the double top, I can drop down to a lower time frame and potentially get a double top down on the lower time frame, so that you know, that's likely to happen sooner than waiting for a double top on the 4 hour. The other way that you could enter this is on a 3-bar reversal, okay, or tweezer tops, okay, depending on what your rules are. So for me, I'm going to keep an eye on this, and I'm going to be looking out closely for, firstly, how this candle closes, and then secondly, either a 3-bar, or if the candle closes like up here and we don't close in the lower third, then I'll be looking for a double top on the lower time frame. So I'll be happy to short this. Now let's just talk about targets, okay? So stops would be ATR above highs, depending on what type of entry I get. Targets would be down here. So I'm just going to go out to the daily just to make this nice and clear. Okay, whoops. Okay, targets would be right here. So as I say, a little in out. If I can get involved in this, chances are the stop loss is going to be, let's just say I get involved here. Chances are the stop loss is going to be something like this, and the target's going to be like this. So 2.3 to 1, something like that. At least a 2 to 1 reward to risk. High probability move if I can get the entry signal. And looks like an attractive trade, right? So that's what I'll be looking at, guys. Now we do the same thing on the Aussie dollar. Yesterday, Aussie dollar was the more attractive level, right? We were at this level here, which was previous structure, looking left. We actually broke and closed out of that. So now, the opposite, right? Yes, we do have structure looking left, except this isn't a major level of structure for me, like we do on the Aussie CAD. This one, we could have the opportunity here, where we had previous resistance, resistance, resistance. We even had recent resistance at a test of that level again. Okay, then we break and close out of it. If we were then to pull back, this should provide a decent level of support. So as we drop down to the trading time frame, if we pull back here, guess where I'm going to be looking for a buy signal? Sorry, get long, not short. I'll be looking for a buy signal here. There could be an opportunity for us to buy this top become a bottom. What other clues do we have here that makes this an attractive zone? Yep, 0.7 flat, psychological even handle number, 0.7 flat down here. So although we're not there yet, we are seeing a little bit of deceleration here, but we've got some strong momentum at the moment. If this can close again, instead of looking to short this, which some of you might be doing by the way if you're counter, I'll be looking for the rollover and then looking to pick it up here for a buying opportunity, for a long trade. So slightly different there. Aussie CAD looking short, Aussie dollar looking long. Slightly different, much different analysis to earlier on in the week. Now we're looking at a breakout, a pullback, and looking to buy right here again. This could be a higher, higher, higher close, a low test candle wick, a 3-bar reversal down here, or you might be ultra conservative and look for a little retest or a double bottom in this zone. But certainly an attractive area which should provide a decent level of structure support, seeing as it was so protected until we broke through as a level of resistance. So although these opportunities are there, we've got a little while for them to play out, right? We've got to be a little bit patient. There's nothing here at market that I can take advantage of, so I'm okay with that. I just happily sit and keep an eye on these, but for you guys watching this, you can keep an eye on this. Alright, so Aussie pairs done. Aussie CAD, Aussie dollar. Let's go to the pound dollar next. And we'll look at the pound dollar. The pound dollar wasn't too much for us anyway. We were consolidating. Yesterday we were down here, kind of in the middle of nowhere. We've been consolidating for a couple of weeks. Sideways movement overall. Yesterday we had a close right up here at this previous high. So again, if you're looking for structure-based shorts, right, look, we've just tested that level already. Okay, just tested that level already. Now, although this isn't a juicy price level, like some of the other markets, it is the most recent structure high. We did have a high test candle with the lower third. Well, we had an open or close in the lower 50%, and we had a open in the lower 30%. We've just tested that high again. Looking left. Looking left. Now there's ways that you could involve yourself in this, because it looks like we're seeing a retracement right now. So as we drop down to the 4 hour, you can see we've tested that zone. This is where we could look for a little double top. Okay, little double top here. If we get a valid double top here, guess what? Next bar market, short. And again, I'm not looking to be greedy on this. I'd be looking. I'm never greedy looking for these counter moves. What I'd be looking at is a short here, say. My stops would be ATR above the high of the double top, and my targets would be at structure. So it's still almost a 2 to 1. Almost a 2 to 1. That gives me the highest probability move without being greedy. 2 to 1 reward to risk. Lovely job. As long as the double top's valid. It looks like we're rolling over a bit here. This needs to calm down a little bit. Right? It'd be nice for this to not dip any lower. I don't want it to test this structure level. If it tests this structure level, then the double top would be invalid. Okay? So I don't want it to test this structure level. The double top will be invalid if we do. I won't be looking at the trade anymore. So again, nice opportunity, high probability move. Got to be a little bit patient. Patience pays the bills in trading, if you didn't know. And I'll happily sit here for the rest of the day and just keep an eye on this, keep tabs on this. That's potentially 3 really nice high probability trades that we've just got to be a little bit patient on in order to get involved in some real high probability moves. So they all go on the watch list. Obviously correlation risk is monitored as well. So you get tons of these things. You don't want to be entering all of them. Whatever one presents itself first on correlated pairs. But 3 decent opportunities. 3 pairs into this portfolio, 3 decent opportunities. All right, so we go to the euro dollar next. We're going to go out to the daily time frame. Again, see this nice high close above the high? Really, really nice. The markets have sprung into life. For so long we've been consolidating here, dribbling up to this previous structure. We had the discretionary gap zone here that we were looking at previously, where we tested that level. We had the fake break to the upside, came straight back down to where we gapped here. We then respected that level again, held that level for the longest time, since back in early June. Then we slowly crept above that, and yesterday we broke above the previous high, which gives some significance. Okay, now if we look left here, we do have a couple of fake breaks looking left. Okay, so this level is respected, a little bit higher. So if we just draw on a horizontal line at the previous high, this is the level 1530s, which we are now approaching, and look at that. Okay, so if I just go back out here previously to historic data, look at this zone. Look at this zone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then becomes resistance. We have a fake break at resistance, okay? High bullish, look at this story. High bullish momentum, close all the way back down. Slap in the face, in other words. We try again, get nowhere near it. We continue down until we've now broken closed above this high, and we're at that level. So even though we've broken closed above this high, do I want to buy this up right now? Absolutely not. If we can break through this zone, then we get a pullback, then absolutely this could provide a decent level of support. But until then, I want to get a high probability short out of this if I can. Because I know that when this level is tested, more often than not we see a rollover, historically. Now again, where will my targets be? Well, I don't want to be greedy, so my targets will be at structure. I'll be just above these closes here, this close here. So just above, up at 43.96. In fact, I may even get above the 400 level. It depends on the reward to risk. So just to make sure that we get a feel. And then Dropping down to the trading time frame, this is where the target will be. I'll be looking for a double top here, of which we can look on the lower time frame. Haven't got that yet. Then looking to short. Short will look something like this, hopefully. ATR stops, targets, almost a 2-to-1 reward to risk. How good is this? Loads and loads of decent opportunities. Lots and lots of 2-to-1s. This is what we like to see. Not only 2-to-1s, but high probability zones as well. So the market's coming to life a little bit, providing lots of opportunities here. I've gone through, 4 pairs now. I've got 4 high probability opportunities, structure-based high probability opportunities here out of the 4 pairs that I've been through. Pretty cool. Good day. Good day so far. This is be something that will require me to check my charts a little bit more frequent. But again, I'm not trading down on the lower time frames. I'm not bothered about looking at, lower time frames. I'm still looking at the 4-hour. Still looking at only the lower time frame for entries only. Not looking to trade off lower time frames. So, Aussie CAD, Aussie dollar, pound dollar, euro dollar, all with nice opportunities there. Alright, 3 shorts, 1 long. So we'll keep an eye on this, and we'll certainly be coming back to this later on. So with those opportunities, guys, it's a bit of a case of patience, as I said. Later on in the day, we don't have too much news out today. In fact, if I just go over to the Forex Factory calendar, you're going to see that we've got some CAD news out, and that's really about, I'm not expecting too much from that. We don't have any news out on the dollar that's going to affect me taking trades or anything like that. So just hopefully later on today, or maybe into the in New York session, New York crossover, we'll be able to involve ourselves in these trades. You guys know I've had a short bias on the pound Aussie for a long time. Let's just go out to the daily and see what's happening on the bigger picture. Right, remember we had this inverted head and shoulders here? Previous structure support. Really we were looking at a test of this level, so we've got a little bit further to go. We've got these lower levels of structure here as well. I'm expecting a test of this level, and we're not quite there yet. If we just look at the daily time frame, we're just breaking out of this zone now. We had a lower low, lower close yesterday, and we're seeing continued bearish movement down towards that zone. Now, if we're to do an identify and predict, we know what price action's likely to do. There's 2 things it's likely to do. It's either just going to push down and test this zone straight away, at which point we could look for a counter move long, okay, up to targets at 78, 80, or we're going to see a little interim pullback, and then we could potentially look to short this down to this zone. Okay, so depending on what price does, will give us 2 different opportunities, and that's rare because I don't believe in trend and counter trend at the same time. If you try and catch the trend, then the counter move, trend move, counter move, you're going to struggle doing that. You're going to go broke. But there are certain zones that I look for counter moves, extreme highs, extreme lows, and certain discretionary price levels. If we're approaching those levels in a trend, I will still look for the counter move if we're approaching that zone. Make sense? So even though I could potentially look for a short and ride this down, I could still look for a long down here because it's one of my zones. It's one of my extreme lows. It's one of my discretionary price levels in this market. So there's a couple of opportunities here for me. Now I'll tell you why the long opportunity is going to be more attractive. Because recently we've been consolidating here, and we've only just broken close below. If we pull back into the zone that I need to look to short, well look, where does stops go, right? So yeah, it's not the greatest shorting opportunity. But if we push straight down, we'll be looking for essentially the opposite of what I've been explaining on most of the other pairs. So a double bottom, a low test candle wick, some tweezer bottoms, 3-bar reversal, and I'll be paying close attention as soon as if price enters 76.60 area. So pound yen, this is what we was looking at earlier on in the week. We had, what was we looking at? First of all, we had the breakout, which we looked at last week. Then we had this ascending channel. It wasn't one that I could involve myself in because by the time we looked at this yesterday morning, 6 AM, we'd already broken out of the channel that I was looking at. We hovered around a bit, very, very horrible, choppy movement in this market. It was not tradable at all, in my opinion, for me. And then we did see a rollover, but there's no way that I would have traded this particular ascending channel. So we got the rollover in the end, but this just wouldn't have been a trade that I would have taken. Alright, seeing as we're looking at structure-based trades and kind of these patience trades, I just want to finish off by kind of giving you a couple of things on the radar as well. So one is gold. Gold, I was really surprised when we broke and closed above 1800. We haven't been above 1795 since about October 2012. So long time ago. If I just scroll back here on the daily, you're going to see that October 2012 we had this really strong level of resistance. 16th of October was the last time it was tested, and look, 1, 2, 3, couldn't break that 1795 level, and recently we broke and closed above. Now looking left here, the next zone that's really attractive is up here at 1890. Right, now if we were to get to 1890, there'll be a real nice opportunity for a short trade. So if you're in it now and you're holding, we're likely to test this zone, great, but this would be a zone where again it's going to require some patience to wait, but patience pays again. Right, really nice opportunity for a high probability short around this zone here, 1890 to 1921. This is the previous high. This would be a zone that I'd be looking at for a potential short on this market. And then finally, I just want to share with you Aussie yen, where again, right, I mean, I could go through loads of these pairs. I'm looking at 27 pairs at the moment, and I could go through tons of them, but I just want to really reiterate that there's some really nice high probability structure-based trades at the moment that are going to require your discipline and your patience. Okay, to allow the rules to play out. Now this significant level looking left where we had this big spike low, I love paying attention to these big long spikes, and first where they close here, or where they spike down to, sorry, and secondly where they close. So we pushed down all the way down to 70.5 and closed back up at 75 or 76. That has some significance. And then not only that, we had resistance, 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 and we're at that level right now. So there is a lovely opportunity right here as we hit that level like a wall. Previous tweezer top candles here as well. We've hit that with some resistance. If you're familiar with advanced patterns, you could potentially enter aggressively here as a bat pattern entry, okay? But if you don't trade advanced patterns, nonetheless, it's still a really nice entry zone. So depending on whether or not you just trade this straight off as a retest, or you look for a lower time frame entry, this is a beautiful zone to look for a high probability short. So I'm not going to go through targets on this one because this isn't a pair that I'm looking at personally, but I just wanted to share these with you so you could follow along. Alright, so that's the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Comment below if you've got any questions. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel because there's going to be lots and lots of trading videos coming out from now until December over the next few months. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll catch you in the live trading room.